Mike Burns writes in, and he says, I love it when things from old Zelda games show up in new games, such as the Temple of Time. Since it appears old Hyrule is in Breath of the Wild, then how about the Lost Woods? And if the Lost Woods, then how about a portal to Termina? Majora's Mask forever! All right, thanks, Mike Burns. Kyle, you're a Zelda guy.
I'm one of those.
Do you like
I'm
it when they
Zelda guy.
when they reuse the like themes and environments and buildings and stuff?
Super fun.
That's part of the thrill of Zelda.
I really love the idea that all the Zelda games are like connected. Like a lot of people scoff at it and they're like, it's just Nintendo.
If you look actually to your left, Joe, you can actually catch them scoffing quickly right now.
Yeah. Scoff, do it. I just love the idea of like seeing something that's like, ooh, could that have been like, from a previous Zelda game? Like there was Shadow of the Colossus, where people were kind of like, they were even going behind the code and finding possible environments from Ico.
Right.
Like I was like, oh, that's amazing. I love the idea that that's all cyclical and connected. And
yeah. I feel like that's with the Zelda series. I always get the feeling that fans are just 1,000 times more into it than the developers are. It's just like,
I think so.
And that's the difference between, I think, like Ico and Shadow, where it's like the connections between those two games are intentional.
Yeah.
And, like are woven into the story and like progression of Shadow of the Colossus. Whereas like it feels like Zelda is like a total retrofit continuity. At
least it was, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, so like maybe they're working towards it now, but you can't tell me that like any game prior to like Ocarina of Time, I guess, was like they had any sort of intent that these were happening in the same sort of like continuity or universe or whatever,
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
there's
actually,
young Link growing up, and
there are sequels. Like there are acknowledged sequels.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure, but
like 1 and 2, I guess. But you know what I mean, though. It's
I think that's totally fair. But I just enjoy the act of trying to find connections, and even if they're not really there, it's just fun to kind of.
That's what human beings do, Joe. They find connections.
Another one
on
that topic is like
on the wall,
BioShock Infinite. People were going back to BioShock. And they were claiming that they were like hearing things.
Oh,
yeah,
and, like,
I saw that.
And that's another one that I'm like, I don't think that's the case, guys. But like, it's fun.
That's super cool.
Okay, I don't find that particularly fun. And like if it's
it's a good time, Joe. I'm having a lot of fun right now.
Here's rather than just shoot it down. I guess what I mean. What I mean by that is like I find it fun when it's clearly like when it's an Easter egg planted there by the developer, where it's a deliberate connection because it shows this level of like like forethought and acknowledgement to the fans of like previous things. But then you really start to get into like crackpot theory territory where when people are just looking for things that aren't there, like if it's not if it wasn't supposed to be there, if it wasn't supposed to be acknowledged, then that's not interesting to me. Then that's like on par with just like, I mean, I guess it's essentially just fan fiction at that point, which is fine for what it is, but not like...
You're just a big authorial intent guy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.